Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tszyu. Tszyu says that 154-pound division is on fire right now. It's the division to be in. Belts are coming in from everywhere. He says that Fondora, Sébastien Fondora, is the guy to beat. He says it's difficult in this division, though, because one guy gets beat, then it's another guy in line, so it's difficult to say. But he does say he wants the fight with Fondora. He wants the rematch with Fondora. He says Fondora is game. He's big, he's tall, but he says that he is not the best in the division. And let me counterpunch. If I was Tszyu, I would think the same thing, because I know Tszyu should be thinking that Sébastien is not better than him, because he's not. If you look at that fight for 2 rounds, okay, because it was only 2 rounds that Tszyu showed how better he was, how better timing he had, how hard of a puncher he was, and everything else, okay, across the board. He showed us that Sébastien Fondora, yes, he can be countered, just like he did with Brian Mendoza. Okay, you remember that when he was knocked out cold and finally stopped, you know. But other than that, Tszyu was a guy that showed all that, but unfortunately got injured, and his team was the one that allowed that fight to continue. That was a bad cut. That was probably one of the worst cuts I've ever seen, because that wasn't a eyelid or a forehead or you know, or under the eye. It was a geez, I almost hit this, whatever. It almost was a it was an artery, bro. It was an artery in the vein of your head. So they should have stopped that. So that's the technicality that cost him a loss, because, you know, he kept fighting, which he shouldn't have done. And Fondora is a guy that, yeah, he's like an Energizer bunny. He keeps on going, you know, and that's how he won. So back to Tszyu. If I was Tszyu, I would be feeling that same way. Like, look, yeah, he's not the best in the division. As soon as I fight him again, you know, I'm going to take him out, because he already had shattered his nose within 2 rounds. He had already busted him up in 2 rounds. You know, unfortunately, he got caught with an elbow that did that damage, that caused that injury. So, yeah, definitely. I think that Tszyu, you know, should be fighting the best, because I think Tszyu in the division is one of the best, if not the best. Okay? I can't wait for Jermell Charlo to come back to see what he decides to do, because all of these fights are on PBC. These are PBC fights. So, yeah, it's good for the business of PBC, because they pretty much still have some kind of hand in the boxing game. And let's see how it pans out, okay? But Tszyu, yeah, I wanted Tszyu to rematch Fondora next, but he's not. He's going after another belt, which is understandable. So I think if he gets this belt, he has a bargaining chip. Then he can come back and reclaim what's really his in the division. You guys tell me what you think of Tszyu stating that Fondora is the guy to beat at 154, but he's not the best. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!